we're back to finish the neckline on the ruffle sweater, left front. Okay, so now we're back from our little break. We're at row 102, 35 left, 2 right, and we are knitting across. We've done our yarn over. We've marked for our 2 buttons. Okay, reducing. Knitting across. Yarn over. I'm going to move my camera to be more on the left-hand side of the bed. 1 second, please. Alrighty, so now we're on the left-hand side of the bed. No sense being all the way over on the right. Knitting across. Reducing. Yarning over. Reducing. This is row 108. We now need to reduce all the way down to left 22. To do that, we first need to flip the stitches to 25. Trying to think of a good way to do that. If I grab some waste yarn, okay. So I need to take these 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, onto waste yarn. Take them again onto waste yarn. Okay, bring them forward. I'm just going to use a simple knitting needle. And I'm going to remove them on the knitting needle. Okay, flipping it around. Now, I need to hang these stitches onto these. So, need this to stay loose and not interfere. And I need to be able to see. So we flip that out. Untangle that. Okay. So this first one goes here. Second one here. Oh, a lot of weight on here. Take that weight off. This one here. here and here. Now, one of the things you could do is you could just bind them off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to knit them through each other and then latch tool them. Just a second here, got a little bit of orange tucked in. Okay, the orange is tucked in here as well. Keeping the orange out. Okay. Oh, poor puppy's got the sneezies. My goodness. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. 1 second. Okay. So I grab it with the latch tool. I go into the next one. Grab it with the latch tool. Let it go. Knit it through. Grab the next one. Knit it through. Grab the next one. Knit it through. Grabbing the last one. Knitting it through. Putting it on stitch 25. Okay, so now we have this yarn tail from here. And we're going to release these. Okay. Nice and neat. This yarn tail is here. We now need to reduce down to 22. So we're going to do the gate peg. So over, on, grab them all, back over to the next one, knit through. Over, through, back over, knit it through. Now this is 22. We will just hang it on to number 22. Okay, we have some cutting to do. So we will cut the contrast yarn, put it to the side. We now need to put the tension back on our yarn. Okay, we've got tension back on our yarn. We're at 22 left and 2 left. We are now going to knit across. Deep breath. It says we need to... Oh, what happened here? All right, my bad. We need to reduce our 1 stitch on the right hand side. So now we are at 3 left and 22 left. Oh, I know what I'm doing wrong. 1 second. Okay, we need to reduce 4 stitches. So we're going to follow the same pattern. So second one in goes onto the edge one, move them both behind the gate peg back onto the original. Try not to get your yarn caught in your wheels under your sinker plate. We now have to get down to 18 left. This is 19, knitting it through and hanging it on 19 left. Okay, tightening it up a little bit. Get closer. Deep breath. We're on 3 and 18. Knitting across. We will now reduce one on the right. We need to relieve a lot of the tension on here, so we're going to just reduce down to 2 claw weights. And we're going to very carefully remove the triangle weight. Deep breath. Should actually move this closer to the work. Okay, we're at 4 and 18, knitting across. We will now reduce down to 14. So same maneuver. Lots of backwards and forwards. And through. Here we go. Now we need to reduce again on the right hand side. Relieve the pressure. You can probably just get away with just 1 claw weight here. Deep breath. Knitting across. This is row 114. There is nothing going on here. Reduce 1 on the right and 1 on the left. Knitting across. Knit back. 1 on the right, 1 on the left. And I'll just bring them all forward. Deep breath, knit across. Knit back. Okay, row 119. You want to just decrease 1 on the right hand side. One on the left hand side. One on the right. Now is a good time to remove all the weights. Deep breath. Row 122, no reductions. Row 123, you are reducing 1 on the right hand side. You're down to 2 stitches. Row 124, no reductions. Row 125, you're reducing on the right hand side. Now I'm going to remove these completely and move them back to the center, just so that it's easier to see. Okay, so we're at 1 stitch. We're pretending this is 11 left, knitting across. 1 more row, and that is row 127, and we are now complete. So what we need to do is we need to cut this and remove on waste yarn. Super easy. Bring it forward. Waste yarn. Waste yarn. Waste. And there we go. After months of waiting, we finally have the left side of our cardigan is knit. Now let's take a look at it. Okay, so we're just going to remove our clips and make sure there's nothing sticking out. So we have here the nice reduction for the buttons. We're just going to sew using the stitches as a guide. I haven't decided yet if I'm just going to use the edge or the bump, but at least I can clearly see where the bumps are. Okay, so I will be grabbing the edge stitch, probably the long one as usual, and I will match it up to whichever purl bump makes sense. There's no pockets on this. You can see it's nice and even. There's no issues. The armhole should be making sense here. This is the armhole. Again, it's still nice and neat, even though I did it a little bit wrong. But there should be no holes. And we will attach this to the sleeves and the back. And then we will do the collar after we do, of course, the second side with the buttons holes. Not sure if any of that makes any sense. But I also need to make sure that I bring these yarn tails through the stitch. So I will do that now. So we have the stitch that they are on top of. And we want to draw it through to the front. So that goes in front of the stitch. So I'll show you again. We have the stitch, latch tool through, grabbing the yarn tails, pulling it through, and now it's at the front. Well, it's at the back. But these two should match up, tail to tail. And then this is where we will put the button. So I'm going to continue doing that through all the way down this piece. So 7 times. And then we will sew on buttons as we are going down the side to sew this up. I'm not sure if that made any sense, but that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to get this ready for sewing and then we'll come back. So now we're going to sew on the buttons and sew up that seam.